Did you ever have to help out with something that you didn't want to help out with? Or maybe care for somebody that you just don't care for? We're going to think about that today on Now What Devotions from Trinity Lutheran at the pharmacy, not in Cyrus. So I'm sitting here out in the vehicle. One of my family members got ill, and so I've been helping them out today and thinking, and you know, they keep telling me, oh, I'm so sorry to be a burden and all this. And I'm trying to explain that how upset would I be if they asked somebody else to help and didn't ask me to help? Like, I want to be a person who helps. That's what I want. I want to serve. And I bet many of you can relate to that. It's easy to help out when it's people we love. It's easy to care for others when they are people we care for. But what about when they aren't? That's what Jesus is talking about today in our text. You know, maybe you've had to wait for a prescription before. I came about 20 minutes ago and I said, hey, is this prescription ready? And they said, oh, yeah, we'll have it ready in 20 minutes. So I did some errands and other things, and I came back and I'm sitting waiting for the prescription. And guess what? Oh, we'll have it ready in about 15 or 20 minutes. I went, when you get frustrated, when things get inconvenient, when you're trying to do something important and people you don't know get in your way, how do you care for those people? How do you love folks around you that you have no connection to, that you don't need to love, that nobody will know if you treat them poorly? That's what we're talking about today. We're in the book of Luke, chapter 6. Jesus says, what credit does it do to you, for you in heaven, if you love people who are easy to love, who you should love? No. You don't get credit for loving the people you're supposed to love. That's just human decency. That's not special. And that's kind of hard to hear from Jesus, right? I'd like credit for doing good things. I'm feeling all good, like as a son, like I'm helping out a family member. I'm getting this prescription. I'm a good helper. But I'm sorry, anybody should do that, right? That's not extra credit. Extra credit is the person who you hate, the one whom has made your life harder, the one who you don't even know. Showing love in that situation. How do we do that? How do we cultivate lives that do that? That's a really hard question. Maybe you've done this where you're sitting in a parking lot waiting for somebody to give them a ride. You ever done that for somebody you don't know? Or maybe did you ever end up giving, I've had to do this one where I give people a ride on a trip, and like we're riding up somewhere and they're driving in my vehicle and or they're in my vehicle, and we're like, all right, guys, we're going to this place and I'm taking you on a trip. And then, you know, I've had it where kids will start complaining and I'm going, you do realize that I took the week off and I'm doing extra work, like 18 hours a day to be with you on this trip. You do realize that I'm using my own vehicle. You do realize that I'm doing all of this for you, young person whom I don't know well, whom I am going to live with for this next week. Do you realize that? And my anger, I don't usually call people on that, but like my anger in that place of like, why am I doing this when I, It's that place of, why is it hard for me to justify loving a person I don't know as well, but easier to justify loving someone I do know? They're both humans. They both have hearts and souls. They're both worthy of my time. And yet, I can justify one easily and the other one not. Jesus challenges us this week. Have you made space in your heart for other people whom I love, whom God loves as much as I love you? Have you loved them? Because if you can't even see their humanity, if you can't even see their value, that I love them as much as you, how will you ever forgive your neighbor? He's not wrong. That's your thought for the week. How do we cultivate lives, make room in our hearts that the hearts and souls and minds of people that we see every day are as valuable as ours? And then in the bigger picture, how do we live lives that prioritize other people and relationships over stuff and security, over our own families and our own people, over all our own daily needs, but we keep the big picture in mind? It's hard to do. It can be done, but we need help to do it. We need help from Jesus Christ to do it. We'll think about this more on Sunday, where I will have a sermon for you. Until then, I'm Pastor Chris from Trinity Lutheran in Cyrus, signing off for now.